to tonight's virtual performance of the Baldwin Wallace Symphonic Wind Ensemble. This is our last performance of the year. Tonight, we present works by Daniel Coleman, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Percy Granger. Our first piece on the program is being conducted by Blaine Schulteis. Blaine is the administrative assistant for the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, and he's also a conducting apprentice and studies privately with me. And he does a terrific job of leading this ensemble. This piece, written by Daniel Coleman, who's a Minneapolis-based composer, the American Tapestry, he takes 3 folk songs. The Girl I Left Behind, She's Gone
Away.
She's Gone Away, thank you, Blaine, and Old Dan Tucker. And takes those and like a tapestry, weaves them together into one terrific musical composition that the ensemble does terrific, and Blaine does a terrific job of conducting. So congratulations, Blaine. Congratulations, ensemble. And we hope you enjoy our first piece on tonight's program, Daniel Coleman's American Tapestry. We continued tonight's performance with perhaps my favorite wind work ever written by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, his Serenade in C minor. Mozart wrote 3 serenades for winds, B flat, E flat, and C minor. And this one is by far the shortest. It only has 4 movements. The others are longer and much longer. But in it, he captures the essence of his playfulness, and there's nothing extra, there's nothing redundant in this. It just feels perfectly timed. These 4 movements encapsulate all of the fun and the virtuosity and playfulness that Mozart captures so well in his instrumental music. So we hope you enjoy this presentation of Mozart's masterwork for winds, Serenade in C minor.
Serenaded mostly C minor. If there's ever a note in this, it's that one.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Mozart, Serenade in C minor, take 2.
Welcome back. We're going to close out tonight's performance with two pieces by Percy Granger. One arranged for woodwind ensemble and one arranged for brass ensemble. But before we hear our last closing compositions from tonight's performance, I'd like to take a moment and honor those seniors who are graduating this year. The students who we are going to honor have been here for 4 years, and in that time have dedicated themselves to personal, artistic, and professional growth. Personally, I want to say that having them in my ensemble, in our ensemble, has been a privilege of a lifetime. And to watch them grow and to say goodbye to them as they all go on their new journeys is one of the most poignant times of the year for me. So now, as we're having this COVID social distancing protocol, we didn't want to miss out on the opportunity not only to say goodbye to our seniors, but from my perspective, and this is from the bottom of my heart, is to say thank you. Thank you for your artistic growth. Thank you for your long hours in the practice room, sometimes on the loading dock. Thank you for your patience with us and with me, especially in this time of pandemic. Thank you for your compassion for yourselves and for each other. Thank you for modeling the type of student that we hope comes through this university. So without further ado, our administrative ensemble assistant is going to read out the names, and with each of these names, we're going to take a moment and give a big round of applause for each of these individuals.
We would like to recognize the following people that couldn't be here tonight. Gwen Shoyar, Trish Hardner, Megan McVicker, and Kyle Pursuit.
Let's give a big round of applause for them.
Thank you to our seniors. Emily Forrester. Emily is obtaining her Bachelor in Music Performance on the flute. After this, Emily will be taking a year off to work at the Ann Arbor District Library before applying to grad schools, dual majoring in performance and library sciences. Emily's favorite memory at BW is working on the Stravinsky Octet last semester. Thank you, Emily.
Emily has been someone who's been holding down the fort, one of the strongest musicians I've ever had the opportunity to work with. I have to say, there are moments in time whenever things get shaky, you are one of those musicians that I'm always listening to go, I know that she's right, so if I feel a little insecure about myself, go with Emily when in doubt. She's a strong musician, a strong personality, just everything about you shows strength, and thank you so much for being a part of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, let's recognize Emily.
Chris Bradshaw. Chris will be receiving a degree Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics. After this, Chris will be working a part-time job and applying to grad schools to pursue a PhD in mathematics, teaching private music lessons on the side. Chris's favorite memory is generally being able to play challenging repertoire, growing as a musician by improving concentration and listening skills, and playing at an ensemble all 4 years throughout college as a major outside the conservatory. This has been a very rewarding experience for Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Chris has been such an unbelievable addition. He's been a 4-year member of Symphonic band on oboe. And to hold down and to have someone who majors in something outside of the conservatory hold down such an important role in an ensemble, and to be so, and then also recently played in Swede on a chamber piece, and then again on Molly on the Shore. It's just been, and not only that, you're also a real student leader across campus. You're involved in lots of organizations. I really see you as sort of the model BW student, and I hope we recruit a lot more people like you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking for his effort.
Quentin Harkness. Quentin will be receiving a Bachelor of Music Education. Quentin will be taking a gap year before attending grad school for saxophone performance. And Quentin's favorite memory is performing the soprano sax solo in Michael Colgrass's Winds of Nepal.
A number of you wrote that, and I just want to say it's a true highlight for me, and I'm going to come back to this at the end. But I said this at the moment for Winds on the Wall, and I mean it. I needed not only players who could play it, but souls who were ready for it. When I think about Quentin, I think about the progress that you have made here. And it's astonishing from someone who was good when you got here, but grew into a tremendous leader. The way that you played, every time that we rehearsed Winds on the Wall, every time you laid that solo down. And to me, that moment is always what I'm going to remember you as. There's something very spiritual in your solos of Carlos that I always remember. So thank you for that. Thank you for your growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and honoring Quentin. That's the conductor. I'm so used to saying, please join me in welcoming. I apologize.
Our next senior is Justin Oler. Justin will be receiving his Bachelor of Music in Music Education. Justin will still be student teaching in the fall at Norton High School, and after that, he's planning to look for a full-time position as a high school band director. Justin's favorite memory is his first Sweet concert back in the spring of 2020 after taking the previous semester off from school. It was a great feeling to come back and finally make music again with his friends.
I've really enjoyed the growth of Justin, truly. And this is a case where taking a semester off and coming back, the growth that happened in that period of time was seismic. It was really seismic. And when I think of you, I think of maturity in terms of how much you have grown and also how much you're artistically really holding down the fort. Especially, I've really enjoyed working in saxophone. Saxophone ensemble has been such fun, and I've gotten to know each of you more. But for me, I've really been appreciative of your growth, and especially that leap that you had when you came back. I feel like you figured out the gear system, and you've really rock and rolled since then. So please, everybody, please join me in thanking Justin for his great work.
Our next senior is Michael Atkinson. Michael will be obtaining his Bachelor of Music in Music Education. Michael will be pursuing a job in secondary education after graduation, and Michael's favorite sweet memory is performing Winston the Ball and Wedding Dance with Saxophone Ensemble this semester.
Michael and I have a relationship that I really value and cherish. When I think about the arc of our 4 years here, I think we had 7 great semesters and one kind of awkward one. and in that time, I got to see Michael be someone who, this guy, I feel like he was born into the world professional. Right? You guys know what I mean? Like, you just seem so professional, and you seem so mature for your age. You also are someone who emanates happiness. You emanate joy, right? And that's something that will infuse your music making. You're going to be a terrific teacher, right? And the students are going to love making music with you. I got a feeling they're going to call you Mr. A, by the way. Just have this feeling.
Yeah, it's already happened.
Right? Music, yeah. It's just because you have that type of rapport, but it's because you being with this type of inner joy that makes people want to make music with you. And it comes off in your saxophone, and I'm telling you, this wedding dance performance we just did, the joy off the stage was like nuclear coming from the soprano saxophone section, from everybody, but in particular the work that you guys did. I just want to say thank you for your leadership, thank you for your maturity and your artistry. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Atkinson.
Our next senior is Katie Kovacs. Katie will be obtaining her degree in music performance applied bassoon when she graduates. Katie will be attending the University of Buffalo next year to get a master's in arts management while continuing to play the bassoon and pursue woodwind double. Katie's favorite suite memory is rehearsing Mio's La Création du Monde with the community arts school dancers and Rhapsody in Blue with Zarina right before the pandemic shut everything down.
So let's just take a moment here and think about what Katie has brought to this program. Think about the amount of pieces we wouldn't be able to do if she wasn't here. You have held this program together. No matter what it is that we're trying to do here on the instrumental side, it involves bassoons. And as we all know, bassoons are hard to recruit, although we just got another one today. So we're... So what Katie has done was that she has held down that chord. She came here, there was a lot of bassoons, and you got a chance to, and then once her sophomore year, they all left, they all graduated, and then it was mainly just Katie. And the amount of repertoire, when everyone else was cycling in and out of repertoire, Katie was playing on everything. Not just this semester, but the entire time she's been here. She doesn't have days off because the repertoire demands that of the bassoon. And so what happens is, to be totally honest with you, when you put a student in this situation, it's like one pillar trying to hold up a roof, and a lot of times those pillars crumble. Katie got stronger. Katie got better. Katie was rocking the Stravinsky octet. Katie's rocking the Mozart right now. Her growth has been exponential, but more importantly, her solidity of spirit has been something that I think has been the real pillar that's helped hold up this school. Please join me in thanking for all of her great work, Miss Katie Kovacs. And she babysits my son, and she gives him bassoon reeds so that maybe we can get ourselves another bassoon in the class of 2032. There we go.
Our next senior is David Pado. David will be obtaining his degree in Bachelor of Music Therapy with a neuroscience minor. David will be starting an internship at Metro Health Hospitals this summer, providing music therapy in their intensive care unit and neurological rehabilitation clinic. David will also be working in the Cognition, Brain, and Language Lab at Baldwin Wallace with future hopes of pursuing graduate study in cognitive neuroscience. David's favorite sweet memory was eating an absurd amount of Korean barbecue in New York City with Professor Jesse McCormick on tour.
Listen, David has been holding down the horn studio now for 4 years, been a solid member of that horn studio. And I always, when I think of people like David, and especially you, David, I think about one of my favorite things about our music therapy program is how strong the musicians are within it. That's not always the case, right? But the fact that you are so gifted as a music therapist, and obviously intelligent to do all this neuroscience stuff, but yet still gifted as a horn player, I think shows the dedication that you have and the amount of work that you're going to do. But I also want to say, as much as my heart says, boy, you could have been a horn player that would have kept going and playing the horn for the rest of your life, what I especially cherish about David is that he's following his calling. And if you know David, you know that his personality is one that I think is really going to serve your clients. And I feel like that is where your heart is. So even though you have these skills and options to do a lot of things, you're following your heart and you're making the world a better place for music therapy. So bravo to you. I hope you still play the horn as you get older. Ladies and gentlemen, David Pietro.
Our next senior is Tess Caton. Tess will be obtaining her Bachelor of Music in Trombone Performance. After this, she will be attending Carnegie Mellon University to obtain her Master of Music in Trombone Performance. And Tess's favorite sweet memory is performing in Carnegie Hall her sophomore year.
Tess and I have a long and deep relationship because not only has she been a 4-year member of my ensembles, but also she's my advisor. And so we've had a chance to talk about a lot of stuff. And when I think about the arc of your career, I'm really touched by your openness and vulnerability, and also your growth, right? I remember your sophomore year. I particularly remember the brass ensemble concert that was in the chapel, right, when I got a chance to meet your parents. And wondering, you had wonders about your future and what direction you were going to go. And remember those, Rick Stout and all those around you were saying, you can do this, you have what it takes. And then you fought through that like a fierce warrior that you are. Now on the other side of it, you have grown so much, and now your choice of graduate schools, you're going to a great school. To see that growth in you has been so rewarding for me. But also to get to know the spirit of you, which I think is the part that I remember the most, is your spirit. Thank you for that. Thank you for all that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's test it.
next senior is Brian Pattison. Brian will also be obtaining his Bachelor of Music in Trombone Performance. Next year, Brian will be attending the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to pursue a master's degree in jazz performance. Brian's favorite swing memory is getting to rehearse Mio's La Création Lentement before getting shut down by the pandemic.
Brian came here as a young professional. There was something about him that is just a pro all the way. Every time I ask Brian for anything, he gives me the exact same feedback. Okay. Every time. Hey, Brian, could you? Okay. Always. Always. It's always shaking the head no and going, okay. And I just love your energy. And there's certain students that, you know, as a teacher, for those of you who are going to teach, let me just say this. When you can come across a student that doesn't seem to have resistance, they're so much easier to teach, right? And with you, I just feel like you're so open. You have an openness in your heart, you have an open mind and an open heart, and that's what makes you improve so much. You're also a really good jazz musician, right? And I really enjoy it, especially at this school, as the jazz program is young, and we're hoping to have it grow more, right? To have leaders like you show the way, you're going to do such great work going on. You're going to have so much fun at the University of Illinois where you're going. And I just want to thank you, not only for being a leader on the stage crew, and for your really great leadership in the trombone section, but just your leadership of spirit. Just kind of smiles and says, sure, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Mr. Brian Pattison.
Our next senior is Michael Peebles. Michael will be obtaining his Bachelor of Music in Trombone Performance. Next year, Michael will be pursuing a Master of Music in Trombone Performance at Michigan State University. And Michael's favorite swing memory will be playing offstage brass for Pines of Rome at the Hilbert Circle Theater, the home of the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, that tour that you did with orchestra and that Pines of Rome, that was such an amazing moment. I'm so glad you had that. Michael transferred here from CSU, right? University of Akron. Transferred here, and has been here. And in your time, the growth that you've had, I actually think about your growth quite a lot, and especially because he practices on the loading dock. Right? You guys notice he practices on the loading dock, which I really love because it allows me to follow so he's always doing long tones on the loading dock. And whenever I'm around, I'm hearing him, I always pause and I want to listen to him and hear how his long tones are improving. And, you know, that was just the teacher in me. And over time, I really started to hear it. What happened is because you were playing outside, you were filling your instrument up with air. And by just that one exercise that you did, you turned a corner in your trombone playing. And I could hear it in the ensemble. I could hear it in the Granger. You're filling up that horn with air and it's vibrating with sound so much better than it was before. You have grown so much in your short time. I wish we could have had more time to make music between your transference and the pandemic. But thank you so much for being here and congratulations on all your growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Peebles!
Our next senior is Brendan Loeb. Brendan will be obtaining his Bachelor of Music in Trombone Performance. Next year, Brendan will be attending West Virginia University for his graduate degree in trombone performance. And Brendan's favorite swing memory is the time there was a man throwing his fushigi around outside Gamble during rehearsal, and Dr. Caldwell invited him on stage to do that while we rehearsed.
I had forgotten completely about that memory until I read it today. And then I saw this thing and I'm like, what is that word? And I didn't know what it was. I was like, when did I do a thing? And then I was like, do you know what piece it was on? It was on Winds of Nagual. It was Winds of Nagual. And the guy came in that was doing magic tricks. He was doing magic tricks on the sidewalk. And I thought it would be a cool idea to bring him in for a rehearsal. So we did a run of it and he was doing magic tricks during it. And it was like a little bit of magic. And that, I think, is what the essence of Nagual is that you follow the spirit and all of a sudden the universe conspires to assist, as Goethe says. Brendan has been part of the leadership team here, and the head librarian for a while. And in that role, Brendan and I interact a lot. A lot. In fact, I have a nickname for him. I haven't had a lot of students in my life. I've only had 2, both here, with my name, with Brendan. Right? So we decided it was going to be a code that we were going to rank ourselves in the most important to the least important Brendan. And he was Brendan 1, and I was Brendan 3. And there's only 2 of us. So so then he became B1, and Blaine is B2, and Brian Pattison is another B. We have a bunch of Bs in there, but I just want to say that Brendan has shown both an incredible amount of growth, an incredible amount of courage, an incredible amount of integrity in terms of the growth you have had as an individual. And in the library, you've been an incredible leader, and you've grown as an instrumentalist. West Virginia is going to be so lucky to have you. You're going to have a great time with that person. I just want to thank you for all your contributions here, not only holding down that bass trombone part for the last 4 years, which has been great, but also in your leadership at the library and also with your spirit. So Brendan, B1, let's give it up for B1, Mr. Brendan Lowe.
Our next senior is Ryan Vaughn. Ryan will be obtaining his Bachelor of Music and Composition. In the fall, Ryan will be moving to France as a part of the Teacher Assistant in France program to get a year of language immersion before applying to conservatories in France and other French-speaking countries for a Master of Music and Composition. Ryan's favorite swing memory is playing Gourmet Race from the Kirby franchise with the other tuba and euphonium players before rehearsals.
When I read that, I was like, I don't remember programming that, please. Ryan has been great. First of all, as a composer, a terrific composer, terrific tuba player, great personality. He and I have a special little secret thing that we have a special little secret relationship that we have that I promised I would never say, but I'll say now. Every now and then we run into each other at 10 o'clock at night as he's doing the McDonald's drive-thru window. And I felt like when I would go through I felt like every time I went there, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to sneak and have one. Every time he was my teller, and every time I got caught. And I always felt that he would look at me and say, okay, well, I'll give it to you, but I don't know. I always felt like I would walk away feeling ashamed. But we would always get a chance to talk about music, too. So if there wasn't anyone behind me in the window, we'd talk about our repertoire. We just connected. And there was some time away, and I wanted to make sure I couldn't wait to have Ryan back in the ensembles. And so I'm so glad that you're being here. I'm so glad that you've seen this through. Congratulations on all your successes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan Ball!
Our next senior is Emily Kulinowski. Emily will be obtaining her Bachelor of Music Performance with her applied percussion emphasis and her arts management minor. After graduation, Emily will be pursuing a job in arts management, perform, and build her YouTube channel. Emily will also be continuing her internship work with the Africa West Trio to expand her social network presence and start their podcast. She hopes to move somewhere new for work and looks forward to any opportunities that come her way. Emily's favorite sweet memory was getting to go on tour her freshman and sophomore years to perform at Carnegie Hall. The memories made on and off stage are one she will hold on to for life.
I remember us in Carnegie Hall. I remember us trying to figure out how we could cram all that percussion in one room. There's something that is very special in my heart about percussionists. And I think it's because my parents were very blue-collar. And there's something about people who just aren't afraid to work. You know, I always have a very special place for percussionists because of how hard you have to work. And just a sense of, will you please do this? And Emily has been someone from day one where it's been like, if I ask you to do something once, I never have to think about it again. You're such a pro. And you have been since day one. Your musicianship continues to grow, but your personality came seemingly fully developed with high levels of integrity and high levels of professionalism right from the get-go. And I mean that. And it's so nice to be in the percussion section when you're back there. Not only do you do a good job leading yourself, but you also lead others, and you lead so quietly. I've never seen you upset. I've never seen you frazzled. I've never seen you frazzled. You just go about your business, and sometimes I'm frazzled. You just kind of look at me like, it's going to be okay. It's fine. And you've been just a rock and been prepared. And thank you so much for all that you've given us. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Emily Caldwell.
Our final senior is Emily Ewell. Emily will be obtaining her Bachelor of Music in Clarinet Performance. And Emily's future plans are taking a gap year before applying to graduate schools to pursue a degree in ludomusicology, the study of video game music. Emily's favorite swimming memory is performing Winsome Nagual in the fall of 2019.
So, I want to share with you a present that Emily just gave me 2 days ago. And it could be the most touching present I've ever received in my entire life. And it is this right here. It's a drawing, a sketch of, I want to get it, make sure you can get it there. And when we did Winds of Nagual together, it was such a landmark moment in my career where I could have a group that could pull that piece off and have a heart and a soul, and that we loved each other enough to do it. I had the players once or twice before in my career, and I didn't pull the trigger because I didn't feel the ensemble loved each other enough. And this group we did. And the piece of art that I commissioned, remember we did, thank you, we had another piece composed, but I also had a statue composed for my teacher when I had this piece. And if you recall, the statue was an angel with one wing, where the other wing wasn't yet ready. And in this picture, the angel is now ready. And this is right at the piece of Nagual called Twilight, right before the Enlightenment happens, and they jump and then get 1,000 different views of the world. And this is when the angel is fully formed and ready to jump out into the world, ready to jump out into the new journey. This means so much to me, both as a representative of your journey, because in my mind, Emily is the one who's fully formed and ready to jump into whatever she's going to do next. But I also see myself as that angel and think of the person that I am ready, and I also see you as that. But for us, what I think matters most to me is that we engage in this together. That we engage in each other's mutual growth. That we're here for each other to support. That we are the wind beneath each other's wings. And that if we're all going in the same direction, we can make each other better. And that to me is what Nagual is all about. And it's what you embody as a human being. And this gift to me is going to be something that it's going to be one of my most cherished possessions for all of my life. And I want to thank you deeply for that. But more important than the gift, I want to thank you for who you are and who you shared yourself to be over these 4 years and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Emily Ewell. To all of you, I want to say, I wish you an amazing journey. Thank you so much for the contributions that you've made to this institution. And remember, Yellow Jacket for Life means something. I want to be here for you for the rest of your life. Anything I can do, anything we can do to help you, please come back home. Let this be your home forever. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy now our presentation of 2 settings of Percy Granger, featuring many of these seniors and what will be their last performance with Sweet. Thank you so much for attending tonight's virtual concert, and we hope you enjoy it, and we hope we can see you next year in person. Until then, Yellow Jacket for Life. Well, there it is, folks. A wrap, not just on the concert, not just on the school year, but hopefully on this whole pandemic thing. We hope that next year that we come back and with vaccinations and still safety protocols, whatever they may be, but that we increasingly can gather and we can increasingly share time and space together again and participate in the sacrament of music. I'm so very proud of all the students and everything they've accomplished in these turbulent and trying times. can tell you one thing for sure. I know for a fact that every single student has grown in their ensemble work. And I can tell that because we've been in small chamber sessions and I've heard each and every one of them each and every time. And I'll be honest with you, you can't always hear each and every student's growth each and every time when you have 60 students in a large ensemble. But when you have 12, you definitely can. And to hear the growth in all of our students this year has been as rewarding as any year that I've ever had in all of my teaching. To get the chance to really grow through chamber music, it has not been a wasted year. In fact, it's been a year that I have witnessed this single most growth across the board in all the students. So we hope now that we can apply all these lessons that we have learned in these trying times and apply them now again to when the gates can open and we can all share time and space and elevators together. Until then, please know that music will always carry on, and we are privileged to be able to share it with the young men and women here at Baldwin-Wallace Conservatory. Thank you so very much for participating in tonight's performance.